present or viewing for the first time, we welcome you and hope you will join us again. After the service, our ambassador, Linda Kittle, will be in the back with an informational packet and a mug. She will be happy to answer questions you might have about Unity and our spiritual community activities. Please check in on Facebook, telling your friends and family you are here at Unity of Springfield, and then if you would, silence or turn off your phone. Please join me in the mission statement. The words are on the screen. Together, our mission is to encourage and inspire spiritual and personal growth by empowering each other to be authentically all that we came here to be. Let's speak together the affirmation for today's daily word. Knowing that my thoughts are prayers, I focus on the positive as I seek to improve my life. Life is consciousness. Understanding this, I am aware of the creative power of my thoughts. When I want to change my life for the better, I take steps in the world to improve my circumstances, but I also attend to my spiritual life by prioritizing my prayer practice and using affirmations to fill my consciousness with positive thoughts. I focus on what I want to create and leave the past behind. Through my faith, I believe that what I imagine can be demonstrated in my life. Focus is key. I keep my thoughts positive. I spend time and energy on pursuits that move me in the direction of my goals. I use my spiritual practices to remain hopeful, even in the face of setbacks. With positive expectancy, I focus on my good. The scripture for today is from Philippians, chapter 4, verse 8. Please join me together. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Let's repeat the affirmation together. Knowing that my thoughts are prayers, I focus on the positive as I seek to improve my life. As Sue rings the prayer bowl, please hold the following people in prayer for their highest good. Jim, G, Beth, Steve, Carolyn, Darren, Peggy, Susan, Jean Ann, Cooper, Zachary, Jerry, Dusty, Brittany, Jennifer, Ron, Rose, Wendy, Tom, Kat, Audie, Billy, John, and anyone else you choose to include in prayer. We also surround all people and their animals who sustained damage in the recent hurricane with love, strength, and support. Let us sing Our Thoughts Are Prayers. The words are on the screen.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there.
We absorb the sounds attuned to our heart chakra and vibrations coming from the prayer bowl. Let them open your heart to loving yourself. You are whole, perfect, and complete just the way you are. Feel the love surrounding and coming through to you, a love always present. We are awakened to the Christ presence within. See Spirit acting in, as, and through you. Inhale, hold, and exhale. To prepare for prayer and meditation, let's relax our minds and bodies. Focus your attention on the crown of your head, relaxing as you follow down to your forehead, your eyes, ears, your lips, tongue, and jaw. To release tension or tightness in your neck and shoulders, take a moment to roll your shoulders. Follow your relaxation as it flows down your arms, past your elbows, through your wrists, hands, and fingers. Feel relaxation taking place throughout your body as it moves down the spine and lower back. Relax your thighs, your knees, calves, your ankles, feet, and toes. Take another deep breath. Hold and exhale. Turn your attention within. For the names placed on our prayer list, for everyone present in the sanctuary, and everyone in our online community, we pray for the highest and best. For all of us, we affirm healing of mind, body, and spirit, guidance to make the right choices, comfort and support when we stumble, appreciation for all experiences, knowing that there is always a lesson for our growth, peace that surpasses all understanding, and love that nurtures and protects. For everyone on earth, we affirm equal treatment and acceptance for all, health and wellness, safety, security, a flow of abundance for every area of all lives, loving relationships with self and with family and friends, inner peace and spiritual connection. We live in an unlimited universe, and there is always more than enough. It is our Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. We send out blessings to embrace our spiritual community, extending out to our city, our state, our country, to all nations. May the human spirit be honored and respected. Inclusivity with no boundaries is assured. Caring for the environment becomes a priority to all. May divisiveness and mistrust be replaced with harmony and truth in the United States and in all countries. We visualize peace in our country and in all countries, all governments, true peace on earth. We are one. We are unity. Those of us here in the sanctuary share with those near and far the warm, inclusive, welcoming, loving energy we feel here in our sanctuary, with our online congregation, with our spiritual community. We know we are so blessed to live in a state of constant, limitless gratitude. Our daily word affirmation for today says, knowing that my thoughts are prayers, I focus on the positive as I seek to improve my life. We set our intention on keeping our thoughts positive. We vow to spend time and energy on pursuits that move us in the direction of our goals. We daily use our spiritual practices to remain hopeful, even in the face of setbacks. With positive expectancy, we focus on our good. During our time in the silence, form positive affirmations in your mind that will move you in the direction of your goals in the silence.
That was beautiful, John. And our band, thank you so much. And so excited that Daniel's going to be here next week. So make sure to mark your calendars to come for service and then to be here for his concert afterwards. It's great to see you guys. Where have you been for 6 weeks? Gosh, about time y'all came back. I do want to say a huge thank you to Dee and to Lisa and to our board for giving me that opportunity truly to be able to unwind and to unplug for that 6-week period. It was much needed, and I'm excited to be back, and I'm ready. Thank you. I also want to say thank you to our administrator, Dee Richardson, to our board secretary, Mary Hilsebeck-Huber, to retired, if you can ever call a minister retired, Minister Reverend Pat McClellan, to Greg Tamblin, and to our board president back behind the screen there, Amy Burnett, for the amazing talks they did. Wasn't it awesome? Wow. Thank you so much. So, we are truly blessed to have so many people that are willing to step up in so many ways. So for Paul and I, we thoroughly enjoyed our time off. We enjoyed our backyard and we enjoyed our families. We went on an Alaskan cruise, and to just show you a few pictures, that's Mendenhall Glacier on this side, and then that's just a beautiful waterfall. And the waterfalls were stunning, and they were everywhere on this journey. And just not just one, but there would be multiple, wherever we went. And this is cool. This is a break off of an iceberg. Isn't that beautiful? And it was that bright and brilliant right there. We went to Victoria, Canada, and even spent one night camping in our van and taking a tent shower in 55-degree temperatures, and with a hose that was attached to a continuous hot water heater, and I was so proud of myself for doing it. It was out of my comfort zone, but it was amazing. We went to the redwood forest. You can maybe see Paul there in the middle of that tree. And for those of you who have been here a while, I've shared with you that when my kids were growing up, the thing that I always used with them was Be Love, and I found my Be Love cafe in was it Victoria? Something like that. We went to Crater Lake, which was absolutely stunning. And then finally, we went to the Glenwood Hot Springs and had a few hours there because honestly, our butts and our backs were very tired from about 7 days of driving in the car. And then went to see Paul's family and came home. So thank you so much for this opportunity. So as I was thinking about, and I do want to say, I'm so happy to see all of you. I'm so happy to see there are some people who are here that have come since I've been here, so welcome. I hope I have the opportunity to meet you. And I see some who I haven't seen for a while, so I'm glad to see all of us here. So as I was thinking about what I might talk about today, I realized that while I was gone, Unity's World Day of Prayer was celebrated, and I missed it. Now, for those of you who don't know, prayer is the founding centerpiece of Unity. The healing power of affirmative prayer started in the 1880s when both Myrtle and Charles Fillmore, our co-founders, experienced a physical healing from their prayers and through their faith in the God of their understanding. And in 1886, after Myrtle had attended some talks by E.B. Weeks, Myrtle sensed that she had recovered from tuberculosis, which was you just didn't recover from tuberculosis back in those days. And Charles had had a hip injury that made one leg shorter than the other, and he also sensed his healing. And so they decided in 1889 to create a prayer ministry, and then it was called the Society of Silent Help. It was renamed Society of Silent Unity in 1891, and today it's called Silent Unity. And I encourage you that if you have not ever reached out to Silent Unity, to do so, because you will be blessed by the supportive prayers that you will get, and they're always wonderfully affirmative prayers. So today's talk Title is Our Thoughts, Our Prayers. And what we sing this every week. Our thoughts, our prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts or prayers, listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And whatever you want to call God, love, source, Holy Spirit, is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer. Now, I want to tell you that prayer is your superpower. This is actually my grandson when he was about 4, and my daughter was just starting to get into photography, and I just love this picture because it's like, what superhero does the world need today? and prayer is our superpower. So let me ask you this. How many people prayed this week? And you don't have to really raise your hand, but how many of us prayed this week? How many of us feel that we know how to pray? How many of us feel comfortable with prayer? And it's great because I'm seeing hands that saying yes, but I also know that there's many who don't feel that way. And it's because we've been doing our work, right? That we're feeling comfortable. So today we're going to talk about, we're going to really dive into some great Unity basics because I'm going to talk about prayer. And I'm going to integrate the 5 basic guiding principles of unity and the 12 powers of unity. So, 5 basic principles are: God is, I am, I ask, I pray. Yes. I gave myself a shower there. Okay. So the first of the 5 basic principles, God is. And for me, when we talk about prayer, it is so important for us to talk about what we believe about the nature of God, right? Because I know in my pre-unity days, and yes, I've called those my PU days, but not really because it all ends up being good. It's all good. But it wasn't good for me. I believe that God was a man in the sky that I had to pray to. And I had to approach this concept of God with trepidation because I never really knew if God was pleased with me or not. Because I was taught that God was what? A vengeful, punishing God to be feared. Many of us probably have been taught that, right? And I was thinking about the Wizard of Oz and how, when Dorothy and the, Tin Man and they went to the wizard, how he appeared as this big, mean, not nice who you were, fearful to approach. And I was also taught then, to pray, I would bow my head, I would put my hands in prayer position, many times get down on my knees, and I would beg or beseech God for what I was praying for and hope that I had been good enough that my prayers will be answered. And that works for many people, and that's great. Use however prayer works for you. That just isn't how prayer worked well for me. And honestly, my friends, on occasion, we probably all kind of pray those prayers, right? I mean, sometimes, when life just hits us with something, we're like, please, please, please. And that's okay, because we teach in unity that God is both immanent and transcendent. God is within us, and God is all around us. So it's okay that sometimes we're going to pray to that God outside of us. It's whatever can bring us to a place where we can lean back into faith. That's what we want to be able to lean back into, is faith in what it is that we're praying for. But when I found unity, I began hearing something very different about the nature of God. And for me, this is like in The Wizard of Oz when Toto went over and pulled the curtain away. And it's like, oh, this is who or what God is. And so I learned that God was not, in fact, a being in the sky, but rather that God was beingness itself, the creator of all the energy behind everything, the creative impulse of everything. And I learned that God was not only, again, transcendent outside of me, but God was within me. I hadn't learned that before, that God was right here within me. I learned that God was goodness itself, and God was love, and that God was always giving of itself to its creation, which is all of us and everything. And I learned that I had to never worry about offending God, that I never had to be afraid. I never had to be worried that there would ever be a withhold of love, because God as love is that givingness of love all the time to its creation, right? All the time. Now, we're pretty good in our humanness, right, to withhold love. And we kind of sometimes want to put that definition of love on what we would call this divine love. But this divine love is so much more. It's so much more expansive. It's absolutely inclusive no matter what. It can never not be. So I learned these things about God, and that totally changed my experience. Any of us have that experience where it's like, oh, I think so many, I know more of you did, you just didn't raise your hand. So, and I was thinking about, just that first time that I came here 37 years ago and walking in and sitting in the back and at the end of that service going, there's a church that teaches what I believe. Are you kidding me? What? Any of us have that experience? Yes. And we knew we were home, right? We knew we were home. Oh, I love that so much. So, although we can't really define the qualities of God, because that's definitely limiting, we try in our humanness. And so one of the ways that we can kind of look at the qualities of God are through the 12 powers. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole, oh, hold on. I think I need to go to the next one. I thought I had these all in order. But the 12 powers is something that Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, created, and every power is related to a disciple. And so the 12 powers are, and you can say them with me if you want, love, imagination, power, wisdom, understanding, zeal, release, faith, life, order, will, and strength. And I would say that under love are the qualities like compassion and kindness and oneness and connection and hope and peace and truth and joy. Anything that is expansive in nature, that would come under love. And again, the love that we're talking about here is not the human concept of love. Rather, again, it's the givingness of God that can never withhold it. So we never have to worry that we're out of, quote unquote, the good graces of God. You can never be. You can never be, no matter what. And I know sometimes that's hard for us to get, because the reality is people do some really horrific things, right? But we're all children of God. We have come from the one source, and we are all equally loved. So, I was listening to a minister tell his story about coming from a more fundamental Christianity into New Thought, which we know is not actually New Thought, it's ancient thought. And he said that when he left his old religion, he realized that he didn't know how to pray to a God that was within him, because he had been praying to this God outside of him for so long. So this is going to take us to our second principle, which is I am, which I'm going to go back now, and let's say this together. I am not all that God is, but all that I am is God. This means there is no separation. I don't stand up here and claim to be the Almighty God, but I know that all that I am is Godness, because that's what I have come forth from. You could say, I'm not all that love is, but all that I am is love. I'm not all that truth is, but all that I am is truth. Whatever you want to put in there. We are made in the image and after the likeness of God. So what does that mean? It means that we have all of these qualities already in us. It's our spiritual DNA. All of it. It's already right here within us. So I am already all that I am seeking in the outside world. But we're good to forget that and to go right out there in the world and to try and manipulate and force our life to be a certain way before we have come back here within to really solidify those qualities of God within ourselves, right? Anybody ever do that? How's it working for you? How did it work for you? And here's the thing, is that when I am seeking love only out here, when I am seeking health only out here, when I am seeking creativity, abundance, peace, justice, truth, joy, acceptance, understanding only out here, when I am seeking these things only outside of myself, I am building the foundation of my life on sand. And I've experienced that, where one thing comes along in life and whoosh, and we can really see what's been happening, unfortunately, in the South with these hurricanes. And, it's the foundation. The foundation is gone. But our great master teacher, Jesus, in Matthew 7:24-27 says, anyone who listens to my teaching and follows it is wise, like a person who builds a house on solid rock. But anyone who hears my teaching and doesn't obey it is foolish, like a person who builds their house on sand. He always told us what? To seek the kingdom of heaven. Where? Within. So through affirmative prayer, we go within and we firm up those qualities of God that are our qualities within us, and then we will be guided to the outer world. It's not that we don't go to the outer world. I can affirm health and wholeness within myself, and I get into that and I feel that energy, but I may be guided to go to a medical doctor. I may be guided to go to an alternative doctor, whatever. You follow that guidance, but we go first within. Because, now to me, okay, wait, gonna go back. This takes us to the second, forgive me. This takes us to the second basic principle, which is I am. And I ask, oh my gosh, I promise you, this is not vodka up here. This is water. I've been so relaxed, and then that song, I just unwound, and I'm just like, really? I'm going to get up and do a talk? No. Okay, this moves us to our third principle, which is I ask. Now, to me, I ask and I pray are intertwined because we teach affirmative prayer. So what is affirmative prayer? Simply put, affirmative prayer is acknowledging that what we are seeking is already ours. That's the most simple way to put it. What we are seeking is already ours. Meister Eckhart said, if the only prayer you ever say is thank you, it will be enough. And I love that because when we say thank you, we've already received it, right? That's the whole point. Whatsoever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it and you will have it, right? So we use thank you. There is a true simplicity to affirmative prayer, my friends. And the idea is that we're gonna go within and we're gonna stir up these gifts of God. We're gonna stir up these qualities of God that are already within us. So I'm just gonna share with you how this shows up for me in the morning. When I wake up in the morning, I usually hang out in bed for a little while because that's when I do my morning affirmative prayers. And so they go something like this. When I wake up, the first thing that is thank you, God. Thank you, love. Because I interchange those because they're the same. Thank you, love. So I'm going to just kind of share what it looks like. Because I so want love to be what guides and directs me. How many of us really desire that in our lives, to be that presence of love and have that be what guides and directs us in our daily lives? Yes, why wouldn't we want that? To be that pure expression of love. That's what's going to change our world, my friends, is when more and more of us are showing up as that love. So I'm so grateful for this pure love that fills my mind so that my thoughts will be saturated with love. I am so grateful for this love that fills my eyes, that I will see through the eyes of oneness and connection. I am so grateful for the love that fills my ears, that everything that I hear is filtered through kindness and compassion and hope. And today I'd let this pure love fill my heart, that it will stay open even when I disagree. Even when I see somebody or something that is different from me, that my heart will stay open. How many of us could use this more in our lives, especially today? Yeah, my heart will stay open. And may this love fill my being, that my actions will reflect the love that I am. It's essentially what I do in the morning. Now, does this sound like a begging or beseeching prayer? I am affirming that it is already done. And I am in gratitude that it's already done. And so, it's so simple. Prayer doesn't have to be formal if you're looking for guidance. Thank you for the divine guidance that is going out before me and making my way clear. And I know that I know that I know what my next steps are. How simple is that? If you're wanting abundance in your life, I stir up the gift of abundance within me, and I accept and I expect all of my good in expected and unexpected ways. Thank you, thank you. How about life or health? I stir up the gift of life and health within me, and I feel it as an energy that radiates from the center of my being and permeates every molecule and cell within my body. I am alive with the energy of God. Simple, right? We're bringing it to the now moment, and we're feeling it. The thing is, we want to be able to feel that energy within us. We want to bring power to it. So we call on our power of power to do that. Now, this takes us to the fourth principle. The fourth principle technically is I pray, but within this principle is I meditate. And at least for me, this is the part where I am letting go and letting God. I'm letting go and letting God. Anybody here get in your own way? Yeah. So we've said here, this is a part of getting out of the how. And I've said here for years, get out of the how. And you'll say, wow. And it's true. Yet we have to get out of the how, because here's the thing. If we focus on the how, what happens? We move into doubt. We probably we bring the problem back in. We move into anxiety and fear, maybe some depression, right? Because we're in the how, because we can't see how it can work. It's not your job to see the how. You will know. But the how is up to that which we call God, love, the universe, source, Holy Spirit, whatever it is. We create the intention with our affirmative prayer, and then we let go and let God. And we get out of the how. But when we get back into the how, when that happens, then this takes us to our fifth principle, which is I act. And I'm going to talk about this as it relates to affirmative prayer and taking action from this perspective. And this is going back to what our talk title is, Our Thoughts or Prayers. What does this mean? Well, as we're praying, we are aligning our thoughts with the greater truth of the universe, right? When we're praying, as I was just sharing those simple affirmative prayers there, we're aligning our prayers with the greater truth of the universe, right? Okay, more coffee? So after I pray, are my thoughts out of alignment with what I just affirmed and with what I just prayed for? It's a big question. It's not enough to affirm and pray and then go back into the thinking that is supporting what you don't want, right? That's why we sing, our thoughts are prayers. And we are always praying. Our thoughts, our literal thoughts that we are thinking, and I'll go back to not thinking about what we're thinking about, those thoughts are prayers. They are. And if we find that we are back into our stinking thinking, then what do? We go back to prayer. Exactly. And we remember and we reaffirm and we remind ourselves until we move into a realization to help change what's going on in our country. We got to take control of our thoughts, right? And we've got to start praying that love is what prevails. It doesn't matter, Democrat, Republican, Independent, none of that matters. We've got to start affirming and praying and standing solidly in the knowing that love is what is going to prevail. So here's what I know. Prayer is a powerful spiritual tool that all of us have. We have the access to it. But we have to recognize that prayer is not just a one-time thing. So I'm going to close with a reminder here that, well, I thought it was there. Okay, that our thoughts are prayers. And my friends, we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always here. And every thought becomes a prayer. Namaste. Namaste.
I am clearly not Beck. Beck was supposed to do the announcements, but he had to jet over to our classroom to start the Zoom call for his induction. So you get stuck with me today doing the announcements.
Go back! Woo!
Better me than Mitch. Sorry. Not sorry. Today, immediately after the service, we are having a taco bar in conjunction with our town hall meeting. Suggested love offering for the lunch is $5 per person, and the proceeds will go to fund our community cupboard. Everyone is invited to attend. Meditation is tonight at 6 p.m. and is open to everyone. The Unity Men's Group and Potluck is the first Tuesday every month at 6 p.m. That's this Tuesday. Bring a dish to share and gather with like-minded men for meaningful discussion. The Mat Makers are meeting every Thursday at 10 a.m. Their goal is to make 100 mats in 100 days, and they would love your help. Mary, I believe, has a couple of announcements.
Good morning. So first, we have got on the 13th, is that right, of October, is that when the new members? 20th, thank you, is, and they wanted me to talk just a little bit about membership. And I got to thinking about it, and I thought, why are people so reluctant to join, to actually become members? And I'm not sure if it is that people feel like if you become a member, all of a sudden we're going to want a financial statement, and we're going to expect you to be here every single Sunday, and there's an expectation around that. But that's not who we are. It's never been who we are. I became a member personally because this church transformed my life. I became a member because when I walked in here, it's like Sue said, I felt like I had come home. And I became a member because I came in here and I looked around and said, these are my peeps. These are my people right here. And I want to support that. When you become a member, you get a voice in our community. You get a voice of who the board members are, who are going to be making the decisions for the congregation. You get to decide. We're getting ready to look at all of our bylaws and reorganize our bylaws if that's necessary. And in January, you'll get an opportunity, if we do change some of the bylaws, you'll get an opportunity to vote on that, whether or not this is something that you want. And so you get a voice in the community. And so I really encourage you. I look around and I see a lot of people who are really, really involved in our church, who are here a lot, who volunteer, but you're not members. And so I just ask that you take a minute and think about that and think about why, and make a decision and decide whether or not you really want to become a part of this church and become a member and support the church that way. So that was the first announcement. Also, hugs are back. For those of you who have been here before, we used to, before COVID, we would go to Missouri State, and we would have affirmative signs that say, you are enough just the way you are. And we would take dogs, if you have a wonderful dog that likes to be petted. And the kids love it. And we hold up free mom hug signs because, you know, the kids are there. They miss their dogs. They miss their animals. They miss their parents and their families. And so we just go and we give them hugs. And it is one of my very favorite things in the whole wide world to do because they are so appreciative. And, you know, they would see us coming and it's like, oh, it's the hug people, they're here, yay. So if you can, on Wednesday this coming week, we're gonna meet at 10:30. There's a great big bear by the student union. And if you come in, there's a parking lot not too far from there where you can just pay and park there and then come on up to the big bear and join us to give out free hugs and bring pets for the people the kids to play with. Thanks.
This Saturday, October 5th at 3 p.m., we have a special guest coming to do a gong sound session. The cost is $20, and you can purchase your ticket today. The class is limited to 20 people, and there are 7 spots left. So get your tickets. Next Sunday, there will be no 9:15 adult education class. Also next Sunday, we will have a special guest in Daniel Namod. That's October the 6th. He will do the talk and music for our service and then do a concert at 1 p.m. Concert tickets are $20 and you can purchase them in the foyer or on our website. And a special note considering the concert tickets, if you feel like you are unable to spend the $20, or maybe you can only spend a portion of the $20 in order to attend, please see Dee, Sue, or Lisa in the office, and they will get you hooked up. Our Friendship Sunday potluck will be right after the service next Sunday, so everyone can eat before Daniel's concert. Please sign up in the foyer with what you plan to bring. Our group visit to Unity Village is a week from this Tuesday on October 8th. If you plan to go, please sign up in the foyer. The tour begins at 10 a.m., and those who want to carpool will need to meet here at the church at 6:15 that morning. We will have lunch together, and after lunch, you are free to explore the grounds. Lunch is not provided, so you can either bring your own or give $10 to the office to order out. If you have not been to Unity Village, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It is one of the coolest things I ever got to do. And I can't wait to go back. John Brocker? Is he in here? You got an announcement?
So, okay. All right. So, appreciate it. Starting the week of the 13th, we're going to have a group study, small groups, Braving the Wilderness by Brene Brown. And those of you who aren't familiar with Brene Brown, she studies emotions and how that works in us and how we can both communicate within ourselves, but then also how that then results in how we can get along with each other as well. And I highly recommend that you participate. We have some groups, we have some group leaders already. So we will be out on the foyer, sign up to get into those groups, and we also, the book, we do need to purchase the book ahead of time, and I hope to see you in some of those small groups.
And Lisa also has an announcement, I suspect about the shelter.
Yes. Yes, it's fast approaching. So first I want to invite everybody in here to a volunteer meeting on October 15th. If you've already been volunteering, great, come to the meeting. If you haven't been volunteering, please come to the meeting. There's going to be some changes this year, so I am certain if you want to get involved, there is something for you to do in the shelter or to help with the shelter. So please come to that meeting and we'll explain what it's all about and get you plugged in during doing something that fits what you would like to do. And we'll talk more about that at the town hall also. And also now, if you guys, when you walked in, did you notice on the left where the table is, how much stuff we are gathering for our shelter? Oh, it's so good. So we are in week 5 or we're starting week 5 of our 8 items in 8 weeks. So yes, that means 3 more weeks and it's almost shelter time. So this week's item is the individual cups of soup. So you can drop your donations off out in the foyer. A lot of you have just bought all 8 items and brought them in together. It's easier, but some of you like the fun of bringing one item at a time. It's really piling up. Take a look at it when you walk by. Bless the area, and just know that our guests appreciate it very greatly. Thank you.
We also have an Amazon wish list that you can use if you don't want to, go to the store, or you want to have it shipped directly to the church. That's what I do. It's just easier. Okay, please stand and join me in the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us.
The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
And our closing song is Let There Be Peace on Earth.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And just a reminder, join us in Fellowship Hall for Taco Bar, and put on your calendar to come and see Daniel, because he is well known in Unity. He always puts us on his schedule because we support him. So make sure to come next week.